1 ago. 2025 years and 3 days ago, we celebrated the resurrection, the remontada, the greatest comeback ever witnessed by mankind. And of course, coming on this edition, this special edition, of course, you'll notice that something is different about how I look today. This is a special edition, a holiday edition of the Gliders. My name is Euphoria, and I'm trying to bring on people who did not make it to the wedding of the year. Yeah, I won't say the wedding of the century, but the wedding of the year over the weekend, and ask them what they were doing with their weekends. This is the Gliders, and this is another episode of the program. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. That's very important for you to get notifications of special editions like this. So yes, happy celebrations to everyone who's celebrating the Easter, and to everyone who did not get the invites for the wedding of the year, the JP25. What did you do with your weekend, Emmanuel?
Well, I didn't get invited. I need to say that first of all.
Obviously.
But my weekend was fantastic. I mean, I played football, I watched football, and I was up for most part of the night in the weekend as well. Of course, it was the biggest event of the weekend. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Not the wedding.
If you're not, no, not the wedding. I'm talking about Wrestlemania.
Wow.
It was the biggest
Some
pay-per-view
people
of the
come for
weekend
you.
all over the world. So I was up all
Okay.
night for both nights. So, but the weekend was packed, and it's fun. Watch football as well. But we're here today for the Gliders, so let's go.
Okay, and he's not wearing the Shelby cap today, but I'm sure that he also had a very good weekend. What did you do to your weekend, Michael?
I basically rest, watch football, stay up there for some 8 watch.
That didn't pan out successfully.
Unsuccessful in some.
Oh yeah, there was a successful 8 watch.
Old
Okay.
Trafford now.
Actually, yes. Jesus Christ resurrected yesterday, Sunday, so it was just proverbial that the devil would lose on his Sunday. So yeah,
Yeah, Jesus
I
conquers all,
understand.
including the devil.
Don't leave me.
And he came in the form of Sarabia. So we are there.
I saw what you did there.
Also, I was also at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena for the NNL,
Yeah.
Sporting Lagos triumph over their opponent in that one, and it was a very nice weekend for me, basically. Yeah.
Okay, very nice weekend for us, and of course to the bad boy in the studio.
Bad boy for life.
Bad boy for life. So what are you doing? What inspired this your look today?
Joy, I don't even know, but I just say make I just come here, come crazy. But again, one kind of way they use looking man. How you go day up? You day up to watch wrestling.
When is an NBA weekend?
Like,
The playoffs is on.
You can never know what the
Celtics
feeling
play,
is.
Lakers they play. You say they watch
They watch
Wrestlemania. Bro, waiting the sub. Anyways, it was a nice weekend for me. Watch football, read articles. That's what I always do, and of course, it was really, really interesting.
And stay fresh.
Yeah, you
Stay
get it.
Stay cheesed up.
Absolutely.
Of course, you can see that we're all buzzing from our weekend, and I hope you had an enjoyable weekend too. I am sure it's still the public holiday for a lot of you. So yes, you've had a very restful weekend, and even a Monday. So people like me don't like Monday, so I understand what it means for you to have an extra day being a Monday to relax. So yeah, this is also part of the things we're trying to make sure that your weekend and your Easter is out of this world in terms of how much fun you've gotten. So let's start from how much fun Emmanuel got in the WrestleMania. Walk us through what happened. I could see videos all over my timeline. I could see the excitement. I even saw Israel Adesanya come to that particular one, and then there was a question that one of us asked Fatil. She was like, she's actually thinking of something. If since it's the same parents company that have the UFC and the WrestleMania, that is it possible we see him switch to wrestling, and how will it look like for his career, and how will it look like for the entertainment, because we know that wrestling is more of the entertainment than the sports. That's why people like us are beefing you. So how was your weekend? How was the WrestleMania? Walk us through some of the biggest fights of the 2 nights that you experienced.
Well, I mean, everybody knows, or anyone who follows the WWE knows WrestleMania is the biggest pay-per-view in the franchise. So, it's a yearly, pay-per-view, and this is the 41st edition because, I mean, from WrestleMania 1, the very first to 41. And it was really, really
41 now.
Yeah, 41 now. So it was really, that's the consistency of how WWE has been, how they pride themselves on consistency and storyline as well.
So this is in 41.
You get
Timothy is beefy. I like.
No,
I like
I'll
when
come to
parties
you.
with their chest.
I see what
like
he's doing. Don't worry, I'll come to him. But it was fun. It was fantastic. 2 nights. The Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada was pumping. You know, the stadium was over 60K capacity. It was filled to the brim. A sold out attendance on the first night as well. 63,226 record number of attendance, and combined night as well was over 100,000. So it was sold out for the WWE in that WrestleMania event. So many matches we saw, so many fights. That was maybe not to the expectations of so many, but I'll just focus on the main events for both nights because it was the biggest of the day. I mean, the first night, the main event was the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and of course CM Punk. It was a script that no one saw coming. I mean, heading into that game, CM Punk needed a favor from Paul Heyman because he's his best friend, you know. But it was the favor he has been asking of Paul Heyman. But Roman Reigns, as the OTC, for those of you who doesn't know what OTC is, original tribal chief. If you follow wrestling very well, Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. So he's always been loyal to Paul Heyman as well. So, but on the night, we all saw something unprecedented. Triple threat match, anything goes, anybody can win. At the end of the day, Paul Heyman screwed CM Punk.
As expected, I was going to say that
he screwed CM Punk with a low blow.
Like a very betrayed person. Like that's the perception I have of him.
Yeah, he's been there. He's been in the company. He also once worked with Brock Lesnar as well. Yeah. So on the night, he screwed Roman Reigns with a low blow. Screwed CM Punk, his best friend, who was main eventing WrestleMania for the first time.
It was not only Judas that was betraying on the weekend.
There was Paul Heyman as well, betraying people in the weekend. So, but what no one saw coming was when he sided with Seth Rollins and aided Seth Rollins in winning that triple threat match. So it was the main event of night 1 in WrestleMania, the biggest match of the night. So it was a script no one saw coming that Paul Heyman is going to be on the side of Seth Rollins. So we wait to see how this one pans out in the subsequent editions of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown as well. But for nights 2, we also saw another main event. I mean, it was the biggest of the night as well. Cody Rhodes up against John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
you never see me.
It's been that year. It's been that year for John Cena. Of course, he announced that this is going to be his final year. In WWE. So
probably focus on
the year 2025
obviously
has been on John Cena as well. Right from when he came back for the Royal Rumble, won the Elimination Chamber. We all know Cody Rhodes was who he's going to face for WrestleMania, and the match was made eventually. And for Cody Rhodes, a lot of people haven't been convinced with his reign so far, his championship reign. But most people saw that John Cena was going to, claim that title at the end of the day. So, and it's record-breaking as well. He's tied on Ric Flair with 16th world titles. So, winning this one at WrestleMania was going to be, record-breaking 17th. So, eventually, at the end of the day, John Cena got his 17th title, taking it off Cody Rhodes, who won the title in the last edition of WrestleMania, trying to end the story of the whole bloodline thing. Even if you don't follow WWE, you might have heard of the bloodline story of WWE as well, the Roman Reigns, the Usos and the like, Solo Sikoa and the like. So he ended that story last WrestleMania, and now he's lost the title to John Cena. We don't know how John Cena is going to live up with the title for the rest of the year. Of course, we know it's this year. There's SummerSlam coming up. There's
I feel like he should have retired.
Coming up, but I mean, he doesn't have the strength again.
Yeah.
But for Cody Rhodes,
until they start disrespecting him with small boys from Monday Night Raw and all of this.
Exactly. But Cody Rhodes' reign has been ended. It wasn't as long as we expected. But we wait to see how
that was a quick one.
How John Cena is going to defend the title moving on. So it was the 2 biggest results on the night. John Cena winning his 17th record-breaking title, and he was congratulated with the man who had the record before, Ric Flair, on Twitter. He put up a tweet. Ric Flair, of course, is the father of Charlotte, the female superstar as well in WWE as well. So we've got this family thing in the wrestling company as well. So it's been fantastic results as well.
That's a lot of cast.
And when he did that, I remember Scott Steiner as well. He's also a former wrestler. His son is the current intercontinental champion who was gazumped on the night as well. Dominic Mysterio won the title off him. So a lot of father and son thing in the wrestling world. But overall, WrestleMania 41 maybe lived up to the expectations. But just to run down all the results from night 1 and also into night 2. Of course, it's 2 nights, Saturday night and of course Sunday night. Yeah. Interesting results across board. Jey Uso finally got his hand on the title, defeated Gunther. Second attempt, lost in the first pay-per-view main event where he lost. Eventually got his hand on the title. Jade Cargill, as you can see on your screens as well, got one over Naomi. Jacob Fatu. I've always said that guy is the most talented member of the Bloodline, and he won that title as well. The New Day, record-breaking 12th tag team champions. Tiffy Time got one over Charlotte, who won the Royal Rumble, and of course, like I talked about, Seth Rollins, who also got the help of Paul Heyman at the end. 4 nights too. Also, we saw interesting results as well. So many results that no one saw coming. McIntyre in a Sin City street fight won over the Priest. Io Sky won the triple threat where anything goes against Rhea Ripley, and of course EST Randy Orton.
That's my guy.
Challenger on the night, but the TNA champion, the TNA champion came up and posed that threat on Randy Orton. I mean, it was a quick match. Randy with his RKO out of nowhere, he's always done that. Randy. Anywhere he does that.
I sabi do that when I smoke.
Don't try this at home, Timothy. Don't try this at home. That's what they always say. Don't try it at home, at school, or anywhere. Yeah. I beg. We know what you say. Maybe I'm superstar for the show, so we know what you say. Want to happen as well.
Now I don't say when I smoke, I still dey flexible then. So,
but overall, it was wonderful. WrestleMania is always a big event to look forward to. The whole of Las Vegas, Nevada came out at the Allegiant Stadium to enjoy the action. And we can't wait to see what the next WrestleMania will bring as well.
Of course, I'm looking forward to what the next one will bring from 41 to 42. And of course, congratulations to my all-time fave, even though I don't follow it anymore. So all of us used to follow wrestling as a kid because your dad or your uncle is watching it, so you must watch
that
it.
Cassette and you're standing one place to watch.
You sit down. So I was always watching it as a child, but I eventually grew.
My favorite was Edge.
Mine was always John
like
Cena. I
love
love the whole thing that comes with you can't see me, and he follows me on Twitter. So congratulations, I'll tweet at you. Don't worry. Congratulations on this your record win. Yeah, he just follows a lot of people. So yes, I'll go and tweet at my mutual. Yeah.
Congratulations, John.
So, and still on John Cena. Let me just say this: he won his first title on April 3rd, 2005. That was WrestleMania 21 against JBL.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 2005, and now he's won his 17th on WrestleMania 41.
I think
perfect storytelling.
That's like longevity. From there, we'll connect it to LeBron James. Let's go to NBA.
If I go into LeBron James right now, you will not be happy because it was a very it was not a good night for them on night one. No. But all of that we'll give to you when it's time for us to talk about the first round of the playoffs in the NBA. And that is going to be a very packed one for you. I promise you don't want to miss it. So stay tuned on this channel. Remember, if you've not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. This is The Gliders on BETWGB TV. And of course, follow all our socials as displayed on your screen. Let's quickly move to the letter game of football and talk about what happened over the weekend. In Ikene, the Flamingos, our girls, did what I predicted they'll do. I know that we had some skeptical minds in the studios. E.g. I'm looking at you like this. But yes, the girls did justice to what we expected them to do to the Algerian girls in Ikene on Saturday. 4 goals to nil. In fact, 2 goals in less than 10 minutes in Ikene. And someone got a brace for herself, Queen Joseph. Of course, she ruled that kingdom that very day. And with 4 goals, we're going over to Algeria for the second leg of the final round of qualification for the World Cup. This is like it's already done business. I saw you tweet and say, okay, congratulations to us going to the World Cup. I think right now I don't think we have so much to worry about going into that leg. With 4 goals, I don't think we can actually, but we are not Leon. We should not but to a 4-goal lead.
I don't see it happening. You know, in the last edition of the show, I said we should win handsomely against this Algerian side, and we scored 4 on the day. So I don't think we are going to bottle this. Even though Algeria in the previous round, they went back to Algeria to score 4 against Botswana.
Yeah, their coach said they were going to shock us in Ikene.
You know, that was why I wanted us to win handsomely. Yeah. But 4 goals is just too much for the Algerian to overturn when we go for the reverse fixture.
For Flamingo,
it's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. So, like I said, like I put out there, congratulations to the Flamingos for making it to the World Cup. So it's done and dusted. This is not me trying to be too confident or trying to jump the gun. I mean, when you win 4-0, you're always going to be confident.
And when you are Flamingos, because you know how much they do when they win. Even when they don't win handsomely, when they win little, they still go out to fight. But when they win handsomely, I don't think there's any chance. But
normal, the coach has come out with a reserved mindset. You know, the job is not done yet, as expected. You wouldn't expect him to come out and say, okay, we've done the job. Let's relax and rest on our laurels. No, but they still got the job to do in the second leg. So hopefully we've qualified for every edition of the Under-17 Women's World Cup except the 2008 edition. So I don't see us missing out this time. And hopefully we can do better than our previous best in 2022 when we finish with bronze medal. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Over there in India, Inga, like we mentioned in the previous episode of the show. we keep referencing the previous episode. So if you've missed out on them, they are right here on YouTube. You can go back to watch the previous episodes of the Gliders. And of course, you get to see where we're always building up from. We don't give it to you. We don't give you half-baked analysis. We give you fully packed analysis of what we're sure we are actually going to see. We predict things. We are expecting to see, and most of the times it's always going to come in and it's going to hit that particular jackpots. You know, if you know, you know. Talking about a person who is not being overconfident, just like talk about the Flamingos coach, that's Coach Olo Okere. Let's move over to the MPFL, and this is where we're going to start the review of the weekend games across the globe. But we're starting from home because I always like to say charity begins at home. So we're starting over from the MPFL, where it's almost looking like it's done and dusted for Remo Stars. The coach is trying to beat it down and say, yes, they still have 4 games, they are going to fight. But it looks like it's done and dusted. When you go over to Ibadan, you get maximum points. We are looking at
Impressive.
them. We are actually talking about them getting a point off the Oluyole Warriors, but they did one better, where Alex Oyowa went to Oyo, picked 3 points, and went back to Ikene. Don't play. I like to say they hype me. Anyways, this is a result of what happened over the weekend on March the 34th of the MPFL. We had Katsina United, who decided not to concede in Ikene, did one better when they went back home and destroyed Abia Warriors 5-1. No one saw that coming.
Exactly.
They might have won, but I don't think anyone saw them defeating Abia Warriors, who are actually chasing the continental spots 5-1 at home. Eimba defeated Kano Pillars 2-1 in Aba. Lobby Stars and Rangers played out a 6-goal trailer in who's person so? But it was played in Enugu, and of course Rangers and a win for Rangers at home. I like that. And a win for the landlords at home in a 6-goal trailer. Lobby Stars relegated Lobby Stars, by the way, lost to Enugu Rangers on Saturday by 2-4. And of course Sunday we had 7 games for your viewing pleasure. We had Niger Tornadoes play out a 1-0 against Versailles United, who are fighting. They don't want to go down again this season. El Kalnemi Warriors and Ikorodu City played out a 1-0 draw. Ikorodu City picking another point away from home in hostile environments. A lot of drama happened also after that one. But those guys, their mentality is top notch because they've gone to Maiduguri and they've picked an away point, vital points for them to continue to give themselves what is a very great season, or a Cinderella season, like I like to call it, for debut teams in the MPFL. Heartland, after going away to Enugu to beat Rangers 2-0, could not score at home. It ended goalless against Kwara United. MPFL, you cannot predict this league.
Toughest league in the world.
What he said. Rivers United defeated Sunshine Stars, like a lot of the guys predicted, but it was a lone goal. A lone goal was maximum points.
Emmanuel knows why I did that.
I know. I was expecting a shocker
Plateau
there.
United defeated Aqua United by a lone goal. Bendel Insurance and Nassau United. Funny thing, this tie that is close to home. My dad is from Bendel, or my dad is from Benin, and my mom is from Nasarawa. So this is like a
joy
family. It's a joy derby. We share the points. We don't like to fight in my house. So it ended in a goal apiece for both sides. Then the biggest game of the weekend was that one played behind closed doors at the Lekan Salami Stadium at Damasigba in Ibadan. It's ended a 0-0 in favor of the away side, Remo Stars of Ibadan. I think this is the 10th time they are meeting in the MPFL, and this is, out of those 10 meetings, Remo Stars have only lost once. So it looks like Remo Stars are the kings of this tie, and they proved that again yesterday when it mattered the most, because they are chasing their maiden continental title and they won by a 0-0 yesterday. Let me start with Timothy. Remo Stars winning this tie, what do you think, or which game do you think they are going to be crowned champions? We have 4 games to go. I think I saw you doing the permutations on Twitter and yesterday on WhatsApp. Which particular tie do you think they will be crowned champions of the MPFL?
Okay, so I think they'll be crowned champions next week when they play Niger Tornadoes at home. And like I did say on the last episode, that they needed to get something. And when I meant something, they decided to take it out of... They decided to go a level above what I expected. I thought that they would have picked up a point. But getting your first win in Ibadan was nice. So now they are still 7 points clear. I expect that they would win next weekend, beat Niger Tornadoes at home. Of course, you want to be crowned champions and celebrate with your fans. Oh, we are champions and all that. Rivers United go away to Kano Pillars. I do not think that Kano Pillars at this point of the season would drop points. I know that Rivers United have also gone away to go and pick up points, but I don't think that they can do that against Kano Pillars. So I expect that Remo Stars will be champions next weekend, which is game week 35. Kano Pillars would beat Rivers United. Remo Stars will beat Niger Tornadoes. That's why I'm calling it. And I feel like next weekend, Remo Stars will finally have their title.
Party time in the Kenya.
Absolutely. So make they go to celebrate.
They go buy
if
the
you know
cow.
happen, can't drag me. But for now, I stand on my word. Everything I don't talk for this show, they always
maybe next week I go. All this way they do me today. Next week I go do you back. Don't worry.
Oh, don't worry. Now we see the hot. Just the hot they go. When it's time for them to drag you, I'll give them open floor to do it. So yeah. So that's your prediction for us. Remo Stars to win next weekend at home against Niger Tornadoes, and you believe that will happen because Rivers United will lose to Kano Pillars at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. Let's move over to the other side of the divide and talk about the relegation teams. Where I'll come to Sebastian. We've already had one confirmed, Lobby Stars, and the rest has been really very dicey, and of course still looking like everyone's going to play until the last day like they did last season. For most of teams that eventually got relegated was on the final day. Do you think that's how it's going to pan out also this particular season? We still have number 19, number 20 and number 17 to go. So who do you think will be joining Lobby Stars at the end of the season?
Okay, so like you talked about, Lobby Stars already confirmed relegated, like Leicester City, like Lobby Stars, but LL taking their L down to.
By the way, I have to commend Leicester City. Did you guys see the way they announced their relegation?
So demure.
The way they announced their relegation.
Relegation of the sweet
We just confirmed our place in the 25-26 championship season.
Yeah.
Lobby should take a clue from that.
That's the only clue they refuse to take.
Another teams are looking to confirm their relegation spot.
But I still think there might be some changes heading into the final match days of the season. Aqua United still fighting. Yeah. They might just escape it. Nasarawa United, it was a good result. And so one interesting thing about the MPFL table in that bottom half is that even the teams from 12th, 13th, they still mathematically can still get relegated. They're not safe. That's how funny the season has been.
Relegation yesterday.
Mathematically yesterday. And their second.
If you really get that.
So you understand when we say that the MPFL is the toughest league? That's some of the things.
So it's still really tricky. I can't really pinpoint, but based on what we've seen so far, Aqua United, they were on a little resurgence in the last couple of games. I still think they can still find their way up that drop zone. Nasarawa United, I've not been convinced. Well, Katsina United, they did something, unprecedented over the weekend. They're still in that fight as well, but they returned to winning ways in a plump against an Abia Warriors side. Of course, that was the game on TV on Saturday. It was a massacre of Abia Warriors. In less than 3 minutes, they are 2 goals up, and their former players got on the score sheet. Lukman Bello. I don't know what's the thing about former players not celebrating against your former employers. I just don't like it. I mean, you don't come out here, celebrate if you want to celebrate. I don't know what you guys think, but
I feel like it's just
you don't celebrate against a former club.
I feel like it's respect.
Apart from the respect thing, I think
because most of these players know that their fans are because the fans were those that were also cheering when you were in the club. So I think that most of them just believe that they are attached to not just because they are attached to the club. When you leave, some of you will come back later and you'll be celebrated by the same club, by the same fans. So you disrespect. I think it's just a thing of respect. Like
because to be honest, even the MPFL is like a merry-go to an extent, merry-go-round.
But I think it's players like Rabiu
you play like for a number of clubs and you rotate them like that. So if you disrespect this fan and they're trying to sign you the next season, I feel like you already have a problem with the section of the fans. So it's just a thing of like respect. These are chants that fans that once shared your name and chanted your name, and it's very disrespectful to now do a knee slide.
You can actually celebrate. I just think that
but for me, you were playing at home, not like you are playing away from home. Your team hasn't won in the last few games. You lost 6-0 in Lagos to Ikorodu City. You got an impressive result in Ikene, and you're back home in front of the home fans in a decent atmosphere. So you need to celebrate at least. But he was reserved. Yes, great respect. But 2 goals on the line for Lukman Bello. But for relegation, I think Sunshine Stars will go down. Okay. They might just be joining Lobby Stars.
Sorry, very sorry.
Down as well. So, but the remaining 2, I just can't really pinpoint because I expect some other changes.
There's
as
like
well.
some
But
fights in there. Sunshine Stars currently on 38 points. Aqua United on 38 points. Atlant on 41 points. El Kanemi on 43 points. There are also some other teams in there that
Nasarawa.
also there's Nasarawa there. There's some of those teams.
Teams that are there.
These 4 games, guys.
Make everybody hold
Praise
their
God,
ground.
everybody go. 2 home games, 2 away games, whatever you can do,
fight for the results.
No
as
go
well.
like best on me.
just make sure you don't join them in the NNL next season.
Okay, looking forward to those that will announce their championship or their NNL status, like Leicester. Talking about Leicester, let's move over to the EPL and tell you that Leicester have joined the teams that have been relegated from the EPL for the 2025-2026 season, which is we had Southampton. We talked about Southampton the other day when they were relegated, and now Leicester. Our Nigerian brothers just keep joining themselves in the NNL. We had Joaribo and Onachu from Southampton, and right now we have Wilfred Ndidi who has gone back. I mean, they came back just this season, and they are back. They came back from the championship to the EPL this season, and right now they are back to the championship for another season. We don't know if he will. We're not sure if indeed he's going to stay with them this time around, like he did the previous time. That remains to be seen. But talking about that same game, that game is one of the games, or the game that made sure that Liverpool are just one win away from their 20th championship. And that means that Emmanuel will start rubbing shoulders.
I can't wait, man.
With Manchester United fans. It's because we all know, or if you don't know, let me tell you that there's been a long time beef of United and Liverpool fans because of the number of championships that they have. And that's why they always wanted them not to win. It's now 1980. It's 2019 now.
Emmanuel understand what I'm saying. How many Premier League titles?
It's the same league. It's the same league.
Even though
nobody's going to banter me with that.
How many
we
Premier
got
League?
20. Exactly. So right now, Liverpool are on the verge of equaling that particular one, which is something similar to what we see in the NBA with Lakers and Boston. They don't like each other, and it's always their championship that they used to actually rub shoulders against each other. So don't worry, maybe by the next time we're having another one of the editions of this show. It's not going to be next time. Next time we will have not played their next game. So probably in 2 or 3 editions from now, we'll be congratulating Emmanuel in the studio and say, congratulations, champion. Yeah, champion of the EPL for another season. And talking about the EPL, we had comeback games. I mean, Christ came back and teams were coming back. Chelsea had not won a game in 2025 away from home. They came back yesterday against Fulham after conceding first away from home, and because they came back, it was in a very spectacular fashion where Terry George scored the equalizing goal, and of course we had Neto score the winner for them. Talking about other teams, also Man United did a comeback over the midweek. We spoke about that in our last edition and went on to lose at Old Trafford against.
It's still a comeback. They are used to losing.
Well, I said it on the show.
One win, one loss.
One win, one loss. They are very consistent with that.
Come back to your Go back to your W again.
Yeah, those are some of the results we saw. Arsenal defeated Ipswich Town by 4-0 in their own away fixture over the weekend. Talking about teams who got very interesting results, the Milan teams both lost yesterday. The first Milan team, AC Milan, lost to Atlanta by 1-0 at home. They lost at the San Siro. Then the other team, which is Inter, who are looking, which is what I want Timo to talk about. Inter are looking to do a treble this season. They are still top of the log, but right now with that defeat to Bologna, surprisingly for me, a lone goal it was, they are now on the same points as Napoli. Do you think that is threatening their chances of getting that treble?
Of course, it threatens it, but I don't think that they would falter. If you lose a game for the first time since February 16, then I don't think that you should really get slaughtered. They have so many games coming for them. The players are tired and all of those things. Although it threatens their place, like I already said, but I think that from here they should pick it up. They know that at this point they cannot get to lose any more game. They are tied on the same point with Napoli. So they know that it's between them to just win their remaining 5 games. It's going to be very difficult, but I think that with the way Inzaghi has managed this squad, whenever they go from one loss, they try to bounce back as quick as possible. So I expect that they would bounce back. But the funny point is, I don't know if Napoli, because Napoli themselves, they've really not been on that stretch of winning games, so they could still falter. But if Napoli find a way to win the remaining 5 games, and Inter also find a way to win the remaining 5 games, then I think we'll be having a playoff at the end of the season, because on the head-to-head part for both teams, I think both teams drew each other, so nobody's cancelling out each other. Then if they get to that stage where they have to play towards the end of the season, then I think we'll be having a playoff. But for Inter, I think they would.
Have you ever seen anything happen like that in this area?
I can't remember but for recent times I don't think so. But I know that that's how it works.
There's always been like something.
I know that it's. I'm just thinking about the fact that it would really get to that position, because Napoli have been at a point they were top of the table for about 5 games towards this time. Then Inter chased them. They had an outstanding game. They chased them. They topped the table. Now Napoli are like equal with them. So I feel like, towards the end of the season, maybe both teams would really, really want to drag it out. And if it gets to that point, but I still feel like Inter would win the league. The only problem I have with Inter's treble is on Wednesday they play Milan. As good as Inter have been this season, they've not beaten AC Milan. They've played twice in the league. AC Milan won. They drew one. One in the Coppa Italia, the first leg of the Coppa Italia, they played 1-1-2. Then the final of the Super Cup. Okay. The AC Milan won that 1-3-2. So I feel like it's going to be difficult. That's the real threat to Inter's treble this season. But I think I don't know. And the funny thing, no, I don't think the Champions League is sorted for me. You already know my position on that one. Okay. So I think AC Milan is where that threat is. And the funny thing is, Paulo Fonseca was in charge of 2 games. Conceição has also been in charge of 2 games, and somehow Simone Inzaghi has not found a way to actually beat this team. So they really need to do well on Wednesday when they play each other. That's where I feel like Inter's treble is threatening. But the league and the Champions League, forget all those away because they thought
I'm just asking you now. So it's wrapped up. Champions League is wrapped up.
Yeah, I already said it now.
I just wanted to put you on the spot. No,
why they ask me that kind of question? I know the folding.
Okay. Talking about teams that would be looking to do a treble, let's move to the Spanish La Liga and talk about Barcelona. They also did their comeback. Like I said, it was the week of comebacks. Everybody wanted to stick to the team, and everyone understood the assignment. FC Barcelona came back in that game against Celta Vigo, 4-3. It ended in a 7-goal thriller. That was a chef kiss kind of game that you would want to see. And with this, yes, topping the log, obviously. But my question to Emmanuel is, Real Madrid are still in the mix to also win this particular La Liga this season. This league is not done and dusted. Anything can happen. It's football. Do you think with this mentality of this Barca team to keep coming back in games like this, they've done a lot of comebacks this season, FC Barcelona. Do you think that with this mentality and form that Barcelona is in right now, Real Madrid stand any chance, not mathematically, on the field of play? Did they stand any chance? Are they still going to meet again in this season? I think they're going to meet in the league
on the 11th
of May. They're going to meet again. And we know how it has always been this season, or since last season, we know how it has been in the El Clasico between both sides. Do you think that Real Madrid stand a chance to actually get this league off the hands of Barcelona? They are defending champions, yes, Real Madrid, but Barcelona, this league is theirs to win. Do you think Real Madrid can get this off Barcelona?
No, I honestly don't see Real Madrid gazumping Barcelona as far as the Spanish La Liga is concerned. Real Madrid, the problems have been coming even before that Arsenal game. They've been struggling to score goals in football games. Along the line, there've been games where they had to find a way and manage a 1-0 win.
Happened this weekend as well.
So it's been that shaky for Real Madrid in recent times, and Arsenal just put the nail on the coffin by beating them across both legs in that UEFA Champions League clash. But the way Barcelona is playing, whenever Barcelona is playing, you always want to stay glued till the end because you know something is going to happen. Rafinha is another player on fire. He continues to stamp his authority as far as the favourite is concerned for the Ballon d'Or trophy, come the end of the footballing season, because the award has been changed as an end of the season award now. So it's clearly the favourite, Rafinha, but leading that Barcelona side from the attacking position, what Hansi Flick has done so far, with the way Barcelona are playing, I think they're the better team ahead of Real Madrid at the moment. So yeah, I don't see them dropping or resting on their laurels for Real Madrid to overtake them, because even the Real Madrid itself are not showing that they want to really get ahead of Barcelona. So Barcelona, for me, from now to the end of the season, Real Madrid should just stop bothering. They should just stop fighting. It's Barcelona's trophy to do.
For me, I think that Real Madrid still has a chance. They play Etafe in the midweek. Barcelona play Mallorca. And after that, Barcelona play Valladolid and Real Madrid play Celta Vigo at home. Before they now face on the El Clasico, I think what Real Madrid have to do is keep winning till that point. Yeah. If you still have those 4 points, the 4-point lead, if you still have it intact before
but
that,
can they win? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's El Clasico. We have seen so much drama. Sometimes El Clasico form doesn't really count. So if they can keep those 4 points till that game, and somehow they'll get to win that game, then it's cut down to 1 point. Then you know that just 3 games will be left. So I still feel like they have a chance, but they have to keep winning before the El Clasico, and they also have to find a way to win that El Clasico game. So they still have a chance. But of course, like Emmanuel just say, Barcelona are favourites, and right now it looks like nothing is touching Barcelona except Inter Milan. So
and sorry for Barcelona with the whole for Real Madrid rather, with the whole thing happening at the club now, there's uncertainty around Carlo Ancelotti's future as well. With some of the players as well still yet to make a return from injury. So many things going on around Real Madrid at the moment. So you feel that might just be hampering the club as well. Mbappe, I don't know how fit he is now when he got that injury against Arsenal as well. Still trying to find full rhythm since that injury. So a lot has been happening with Real Madrid, and when you're not certain if your manager, we hear is going to leave before the end of the season, we hear he's going to stay till the end of the season and leave. The replacement has been spoken to about at this point. So a lot's going on. This might just hamper Real Madrid as far as that title push is concerned. So that's why I'm leaning towards Barcelona to see it out to the very end.
All right, leaning towards Barcelona for Emmanuel in the La Liga, looking at how much of a contest is going to be till the end of the season between these two sides. We know how much of a rivalry those sides have in the La Liga. Moving away from football, it is the NBA playoff season, and after the first round of games, there is so much to unpack, so much. And for the culture, of course, I'm dressed in the jersey of the greatest showman in sports. That is, he plays for the Golden State Warriors. You can call him Steph Curry, but full name is Waddell Stephen Curry II. Yeah, I know, I'm a lot. But in the spirit of the NBA, I'm dressed in a special edition of the NBA jersey. And of course, this is number 30, the number that Steph Curry wears for the Golden State Warriors. It was there together with playoff Jimmy for the Golden State Warriors as they won their first game. But I will not be the one to give you all of the gist. All of the gist is going to be given to you by Ayo, our special correspondent for the United States, who is following the NBA close eye and, of course, right there where it is happening. Take it over from here, Ayo.
Of the first round games played already. And so I'll be using the results of both conferences to sort of preview what we should expect and who the potential winners of the first round might be. So let's start from the Eastern Conference, because it was regularly scheduled programming for the top seeds. The conference winning Cleveland Cavaliers had no problems against the Miami Heat in the 1st versus 8th matchup. And Evan Mobley had a low scoring game, but he did well defensively. Evan Mobley, by the way, is one of the nominees for the Defensive Player of the Year award. Donovan Mitchell did his thing. Darius Garland did his thing. But you see, in situations where your stars are not firing as heavily as you'd expect, someone has to step up and be counted. And that was actually a theme in the first games that we saw. And so for the Cavs, it was Ty Jerome who got the job done, particularly in the 4th quarter. For me, I think Cleveland is too overpowered for Miami, regardless of the talk of the Heat culture. And I think Cleveland, maximum of 5 games, will take this one and advance to the semifinals in the Eastern Conference. The Boston Celtics, they had an easy run, particularly in the second half against the Orlando Magic. Now, Orlando is a good defensive team, but they lack shooting. They lack scoring. Paolo Banchero had an incredible game, but aside from him, there was nobody else doing the job for them. And so Boston, on the other hand, had poor games from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and it was Derek White who poured in 30 plus to help them secure the win. And so if the stars of the team could not even perform and they still won the game well, then you can imagine what's going to happen. So I think the Celtics will take this in 4 or 5 games, okay? Now, in the it's third versus sixth match in the fourth versus fifth matchup. Speaking of the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons, now that was an interesting one because for a while it looked like the Pistons were going to steal home court advantage from the Knicks, but a 21-0 run in the fourth quarter by the Knicks ultimately gave them the win over such a resurgent Detroit Pistons side, a young, resolute side. But you see, this is one of those series that might go 6 or 7 games because the Detroit Pistons are so difficult to beat. But I expect that with the quality of players, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, the Knicks probably will have too much fire at the end of it all for the Pistons. And I think the Knicks will win in 6 or 7 games. And to the last tie in the Eastern Conference, Indiana Pacers against Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I fear for Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks because Giannis is the only one who seems to know what the hell he's doing right there. Damian Lillard is not yet back. He's been cleared to play. We don't know when he's going to get back to action. But you can imagine in game 1 against the Pacers away from home, somebody like Kyle Kuzma, who should have been the second or third scoring option, finished with one of the most ridiculous stat lines I may have ever seen. 0 point, 0 rebound, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 block in 22 plus minutes. That's ridiculous. That's not winning basketball. And so the Bucks have to over-rely on Giannis, but Giannis alone cannot carry that weight. If Damian Lillard does not come back in time, I fear that the Pacers may end up winning this one because that's a team that plays very fast. They're very aggressive. They move the ball doesn't stick. It's one of those crazy situations where the face of the franchise is not necessarily the best player. That shows you how many weapons that they have in their armory. So I feel like ultimately the Indiana Pacers will take this one against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now let's go to the West, where it was absolutely no problems for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who finished with the best record in the league. You know, in America here, when the bookmakers released the odds for OKC against Memphis, people were wondering, are the Grizzlies that bad? But at the end of the game, when you outscore a team by 50 plus points at some point in the game, then you must be so good. It was no problem. I fear that this one might be over in 4 or 5 games and OKC will make it. The next series I want to talk about will be the Los Angeles Lakers against the Memphis Grizzlies. Holy smokes. LeBron, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic had no answer for them boys from Minnesota. And it wasn't just Anthony Edwards who almost got a triple-double. It was Naz Reid, reigning sixth man of the year. It was Jaden McDaniels. These were the guys who got the job done for them. This may be a series that may go 7. I don't know who's going to win, but I feel like the Lakers maybe have enough firepower to get the job done, okay? Moving on quickly to one of the tougher series that I feel like could go 7 games, the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. Russell Westbrook put on a show, particularly on the defensive side of the ball in overtime, and the Nuggets barely beat the Clippers, but they are so closely matched. They are making Jokic defend for his life. That series may go all the way to 7 games, and I personally feel that it might just be a win for the Los Angeles Clippers if Kawhi Leonard can stay healthy throughout the series. And the particular tie I am so interested in is Houston Rockets against Golden State Warriors. We're talking about the youngins who finished second in the Western Conference versus the experienced Golden State Warriors who have won championship after championship. You know, last time these two teams met, Steph Curry finished with 3 points. And his teammate Quentin Post said, Steph is never going to finish with 3 points again against the Rockets. Steph, he started 0 for 3 from 3. But holy cow, did he erupt, taking the ball to the rim, the 3-point shot opened, and he ultimately destroyed the Rockets. It's going to be a fun series. I think the Warriors are going to win this in maybe 6 games. We'll see how that is going to be. So that's how I feel the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference will pan out. I feel like from the East, it's going to be Cleveland, it's going to be Boston, it's going to be New York, and it's going to be Indiana who will make it out of the first round. And in the West, I think it's going to be the OKC Thunder. I think it's going to be the Clippers. I think it's going to be the Lakers, and I think it's going to be the Warriors. Thank you. Back.
Thank you so much, Ayo. That was packed. And yes, congratulations on your graduation. We wish you so much more and looking forward to when you would be on set with us, probably at a live play of games very soon in the future. Moving away from Ayo, but still on the NBA, I'm going to ask the guys to predict who is going to win the NBA for this season. So everybody's going to give me their champion at the end of this playoff series that's currently going on. I'll start with Bad Boy, yeah.
Boston Celtics, of course.
So you're saying them
Jason Tatum,
keeping or retaining what they won last season?
Yeah, they'll retain it. I think they will.
Okay, Emmanuel?
Stephen A also said so I would agree with Stephen A also.
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot about them, so I don't follow too much of basketball, but, Boston Celtics, when you are the favorites to retain, you're always going to win it, so I go with them as well.
Okay.
I'll stay with the King LeBron. LeBron James, so I'm going with Lakers.
Okay, Lakers, although they didn't win their first game, will be looking
There's
to bounce back.
the season of remontada.
Oh, okay. Like I said,
Comebacks.
bounce back. And for me, obviously, if you ask me, Steph Curry to get his 5th ring. And with playoff Jimmy, I want him to actually get his 1st ring. Talking about Jimmy Butler.
Buckets.
Now with
Not
Jimmy
the only
Buckets. Yes.
Not the
And
only
now
reinforced now. Lakers have
not the
reinforced now.
reinforcement. He was given the title player of Jimmy because he's
always clutch.
He's always clutch in the playoffs,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah.
always with Miami. He took them to 2 finals, and they could not get
Carrying
the
them
win.
on his back. I feel
his
like
back.
he's
And
a very exciting character. I've come across like a couple
yes,
of
a lot
clips
of couple
where
clips,
there's like
sounds,
stories
Most
about
basketball
about
players,
him.
yeah.
The stories
And
I think there was a
course.
story I saw. They were not trying to renew his contract, and then during the preseason, he just came into training, dunked on all of them, and went home, did an interview that he's joining another team. And then that guy has like
He
so
is-
much aura.
He is such
and
a
very
character.
controversial.
Such a character.
like
And I
him.
love him. I love him so much. I have loved him since he was in Miami Heat. Anyone that knows me on Twitter knows that I've been a big fan. So when he came to my team,
Would you take him
thank
at the
you very much.
Warriors?
He's at the
He's at
Warriors
the Warriors
currently.
right
That's
now.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
joined-
Play off
sorry.
Jimmy.
Yeah,
Play off
joined
Jimmy
Liverpool,
with Steph Curry.
And his debut last night was fantastic.
Was fantastic.
Yes,
He became. I
was-
think
he became
brought
He
the
us-
walks the talk. That's what I like about him.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's a mouthful, but then he would always
Definitely.
like.
So
walk the
as
talk,
Chef
yeah.
Curry is cooking, the Butler is serving.
Show
Please
off,
give us
show
our
off.
give us our 5th ring for this guy. So that's how much you take on the NBA. But let's quickly go back to football talks where we're going to wrap up the show for today. I'm sure you must have enjoyed this. So if you've gotten to this point, what are you waiting for? If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to our channel and put on the notification button so that next time when we come with another power-packed edition of the I'm saying power-packed now, Crusade. No.
He's giving power for strangers.
But I mean,
Power
the
must change hands.
season of Easter, today's Easter Monday.
You
When
must
I
do
used
my
to
own
grow-
by fire.
When I used to grow up in Ibadan back then, they'll tell us Easter Monday and Lord Galilee, we are going to Galilee. So maybe that's what's affecting me today. But yeah, follow us on all social media platforms as displayed on your screen because you're going to be getting all the shots from this episode. I'm sure you get a lot of funny content from this episode on your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook, and of course your Twitter in that particular one. So let's talk about the final part of our conversation today, where we're going to move over to we're going to go back to football. We're going to go back to Spain because somebody is tipped to or someone is going to Spain or looking to go to Spain after he wins another Premier League for himself. Talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now the conversation is about not him winning. It's not about Liverpool winning. We've already spoken about that on the show. But the fact that we're going to talk about hit or miss with Real Madrid. Real Madrid have been a side where a lot of characters in recent years go there and then they flop. They don't just flop, or they suddenly get overwhelmed. That's the word for them. They get swallowed. Do you think, I'll start with Mikolo, do you think that this move for Trent is going to be one that will swallow him? We've seen stars for the EPL. Latest is, I think, Hazard, who moved from Chelsea, who was one of the main man for Chelsea. Then Trent is one of the main men for Liverpool. In recent years. It's been his boyhood club, his city club, everything. Going to Real Madrid, do you think that he is going to be one of those that will get swallowed by how big that club is?
I don't think so. I feel like he's also grown in character. This was a guy that burst onto the scene very young, and coincidentally, we're also hearing rumors that Jurgen Klopp might also be joining Real Madrid, which is going to be.
And if he doesn't, it looks like another Liverpool legend, talking about Xabi Alonso, might be going there.
So Jurgen Klopp gave him his debut in Liverpool, and then he's been like a very loyal person to Jurgen. And also, aside that, I just feel like his style of play also fits the Madrid system, and also it's also also going to Madrid at a time where they are struggling with the right back position. We've seen a couple of players test out their skills in that position in recent times. Against Arsenal, it was Valverde in the first leg. In the second leg, it was Lucas Vazquez that has had to like play there. So they need a world-class player, just like they've recruited for all of the other positions. They need a world-class player, and you know, there's no better person that comes to mind in recent years than Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you understand? Definitely world-class. I mean, he's done it year in, year out for Liverpool, and then he's one of the best right backs. Fine, you know, there's also the reservations of his defensive prowess, but it's not all defenders are very invincible when it comes to defensive wise. And also football is about winning. If you can play into the style of play of a club and get the winning, irrespective of what happens at the back, I feel like you're world class for that system. As Liverpool's side over the years been world class, yes, definitely. And Trent is one of the core members of that team that went on to win the Champions League, did the comeback. You know, one of my greatest nights as a 8 watcher. You know, that corner taking quick.
Yeah, we saw the celebration over the weekend with that goal he got for Liverpool. Where he hung his shirt at the iconic. He has
signing out.
Definitely. So you see why I came up with this question.
So as a core part of that team, definitely, and one that has also won, brought back Premier League glory to Liverpool after not winning in 30 years before that win.
We bought
Klopp.
Ashrebu.
So that was a very big one, and now they are on the verge of winning another one. I just feel like he's been a loyal soldier of the project, and I've seen Liverpool fans try to troll him and all of that, but I just feel like he has given his best. At the likes of Van Dijk that have renewed now, the likes of Mohamed Salah, they've played for other clubs before. Trent has not had the luxury of playing for yet another team. This was his boyhood club. He grew up in Liverpool. He has gone onto the club. He has represented. He has won everything that had to be won. I feel like it's time for him to also move on and get a taste of, footballers, their lifespan is very, very short. And I feel like he should just go. There's nothing to lose, to be honest.
Where's the loyalty to your boyhood club? I mean, not everybody's
going to be Gerrard. And I know that's where you're coming from. Not everybody's going to be a one-man club like Steven Gerrard. The Real Madrid project is also a very enticing one.
True.
For Trent. And I feel like there's only a handful of players that can say no to Real Madrid. Forget the fact that they are still, in recent times, they've not been playing so well. Real Madrid is the greatest club in the world when you consider all of the metrics that is possible. And to put on the white jersey of Madrid is a dream for so many players. And I know you don't judge it through the eyes of Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is probably 32 now. Van Dijk is also in that age range. I feel like Trent can still go on to do great things for Madrid. Yeah, do you understand? So you still have legit 5 or 6 years within him, and you don't just want him to spend all of those time in Liverpool. He's won everything. He's given everything that he can give. Why not just try out somewhere else in Spain?
But you can also agree with me that there are footballers who
one-man club.
I mean, you talked about Gerrard. Other clubs came for Steven Gerrard, but he stayed.
But there were times he considered as well.
Yeah, you're going to consider. But my issue with Trent is you're going on a free. You're not.
You got him on a free.
No, he was groomed from the academy.
So you didn't spend on him.
Not the kind of free you are trying to bring me here now.
So wait, when you talk about value now, I feel like he has given you more value. So there's nothing like net spend or whatever because you didn't buy him. If you had gotten him for 100 million and he's going for a free, you would have said you probably lost. But you didn't lose. He came up from the academy, and he's going to be. He's not going without making an impact in Liverpool. So he's giving you how many years now? He's giving Liverpool
a lot of top years. Yeah.
You know, performances, assist record, and all of these things. He deserves an heroic departure, in my opinion, after he wins the Premier League.
I'm not on this Trent issue.
Actually,
on this Trent issue, I'm not going to be one of those fans who will wish him bad if he eventually goes
I've seen Liverpool fans wish him bad
to Real Madrid. Okay. But my only issue is at least he could have signed a contract. If he wants a release clause, at least let's make money off your move. Not going on a free for a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's kept quiet all through the transfer talks. It was just Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk coming into the picture. But at the end of the day, we saw he wants to leave. Though the celebrations, I don't know where that celebration against Leicester were coming from because it was so wild and dramatic for Trent. He still loves the club. But if you ask me, I won't say his signing for Real Madrid would be a miss. Trent is definitely going to be a hit at Real Madrid. Look at the caliber of players signing. The defender with the most assists in the Premier League, coming into the La Liga. He's going to cook, man. He's a creator. He strikes
And
the
he's
ball
also
so
going to
well.
Madrid at the very
So
right
that's-
time.
that's-
you know,
yeah.
They don't have a right
They don't have a right back. You know, I
Carvajal
feel like
is
they have.
injured, is going out.
Carvajal is already even old. I
Vasquez
feel-
no sabi play. Valverde is like makeshift. And when you look at the style of Arnold, the way he plays long ball, the way he plays long
It's
balls.
somebody that Mbappe will enjoy. Vinicius, Rodrigo,
like
and all
Ronaldo.
those.
Oh, Lord.
We've seen it
Runners.
with Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah. So
Yeah.
of
And
course,
even Bukayo Saka at the England national team. Yes, now they had a goal. It's not an agenda now. You guys don't have that. They have a chemistry actually, and they have a chemistry.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not joking right now. There was a
But I
particular,
get
there was a
what you're
particular
saying,
interview
I
I saw.
understand. I know he has a
I think
chemistry with
it was at the Euros.
Yeah,
It
he
was at
also
the
have
Euros.
chemistry with Jude. That's
Yeah,
another thing.
yeah,
So
they are best friends.
they're
Yeah,
best
I think
friends
they are
with Jude.
roommates as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Okay,
There was
yeah.
an interview I saw where they spoke about a goal. I don't remember the exact match right now, where Bukayo and Trent spoke, and Trent told him that once we enter into the pitch for the second 45, the first ball I get is behind the defense, and then they had so it's a
And
chemistry.
he walked,
So I'm not a comedian. What's going on?
I beg to differ, but I mean,
Wow. Joy, wow, that's what I'm doing now.
that's so crazy.
That's crazy, baby.
Anyways, it's been so much fun this holiday season, this holiday episode of the Gliders Talking Sports. We've started from WrestleMania to football talks to the NBA, and of course closing back with football. That's how much fun we had together, myself, the guys in the studio, and you who is viewing. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end of the show. Of course, we're coming back with another very fun-filled, I'm not saying power-packed this time, very fun-filled episode of the show. So, of course, turn on the notification button here if you've not done that yet. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and you'll get notification of when the next episode is going to be up for viewing. My name is Euphoria. I did this alongside the bad boys in the studio. I did it with TMT. Thank you so much. With Manny.
Good to be here.
This one looks so comfortable. Just as this is his father's parlor. So he's dressed, man. Like it, love it. I
it's
love
not easy to win your second Premier League
I
title.
know. Damn it. I love it when my people understand the assignments. And when I said we're dressing down today, everybody came prepared. Of course, I'm not calling you Shelby today. What would I call you?
Just call me Mikolo.
Oh yeah, Mikolo. Don't worry for
So
today.
people. Everybody has signature now.
All right, and myself, Euphoria. Till I catch you again next time. Stay safe, and of course, I know when I'm back, capitalism will be hitting you. But till that time, enjoy the rest of your week.
Don't betray
Bye.
anyone like Jesus, please.